Assalamu alaikum YouTube. This is Said Mirza. Today's video is just some general thoughts that I've been having for a while. Actually kind of busy with the work on my upcoming book, Means of Insight Theology of the Quran. So I haven't had the time to do research on a particular subject in the Quran and make a video about it. Now, God willing, I will be done with the book by the end of this year, and it will be published by the end of this year or beginning of next year, and then I'll start pushing new content onto the YouTube channel and also on my website regarding the book. So what I wanted to talk about was this whole idea behind Muslims saying that Al-Islam, which is roughly translated as the Islam, being this monolithic religion that's been around for centuries and hasn't changed. And that's completely false, because what has happened is that throughout the ages, the religion of Islam has morphed and merged and gone through various iterations. And the current iteration is what we are seeing today in the Wahhabist push by the Saudis. And you can find proof of this in earlier writings. I was actually reading a book by G. Lawrence called The Seven Pillars of Wisdom. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he was also called Lawrence of Arabia. And he was the mastermind behind the Arab Revolution when they revolted against the Turks and started the current dynasty of the Saud family in Saudi Arabia. Now, what was interesting as I was reading that book was that this guy was obviously well versed in Arabic, and he was living with the Arabs and guiding them and helping them for many, many years. And he was talking about, and this was just in passing, he was just discussing how one of his servants had a close friend who had passed away, died, and that one after his death, his servant became very depressed and reclusive. And interestingly, what he said that is that he uh, not only became depressed and reclusive, but he became closer to his religion and started praying the Muslim three prayers uh, diligently every day. And so obviously we can see here that Lawrence wasn't making any mistakes. He was living with these guys, so he saw and he knew that there were three prayers a day that Muslims had to do. And this guy, the Arab, obviously was not making any mistakes either, because he was Arab. He was a Baddu. These are supposedly the people who preserved Islam throughout the centuries. And so he wasn't making any mistakes. He was praying what was dictated at that time, three prayers a day. What I'm trying to get at is that at that time, this was the standard, three prayers a day. And now today, five prayers a day is the standard. And 100 years from now, it'll be 7 days prayers or 10 prayers or whatever. Because this book was written about 80, it was the second World War that this was around the time that this was happening. So this gives you an idea that Al-Islam is changing, and so that's why it's so important to go back to the scriptures. Uh, and Brother Garen's has talked about this, so I'm not saying anything new. We have to go to the source and figure out what is actually written in the source. You can't rely on second-hand accounts. You can't rely on these muftis and imams and priests, because you have to understand that religion is a construct that's designed by our masters, and that's the cold hard truth. We are ruled in a way that our society, our way of thinking is shaped by the people who rule us, and so they have given us a religion, and the religion is a control mechanism. And a lot of people understand that it's not something that I'm just coming up with on my own. A lot of people understand that religion is a way to control the masses, and that's how it's worked throughout the ages. And so al-Islam was built up around the Quran, and obviously the Hadith, and this whole mythos of Muhammad. And with this al-Islam, they were able to control people and get them to stop thinking. And that is what the religion is for, to get people to stop thinking. Now, interestingly, if we go and look in the Quran, we don't see these five prayers or three prayers, and that is gives you some food for thought. Now, the other thing is that all religions have been corrupted throughout the ages. And when I say religion, I mean a dogma, a belief system, right? And today, even though we think we're so advanced and so scientific, that we've gone past religions, we've actually accomplished nothing. What we've done is we've abolished the old religions and we've brought in new religions. And the new religions are science and materialism and consumerism and egoism. These are all the religions that are now being worshipped. And a lot of people don't understand that what has happened is that these new religions, they also change. Science, supposedly, which is based on observation and truth and blah blah blah, every day they're coming up with some new fresh nonsense uh, about the cosmos, and they keep changing their positions. So there is no stability anywhere. Everywhere you look, it's the same flux and chaos. And if in this culture of today that we're living in, it's so toxic, and it's so immoral. I grew up in Pakistan. I was born and raised there, and so when I came here to study in the U.S., I was shocked. I was shocked, and I just couldn't verbalize what I was seeing that was so different. But the culture here is so, it's so hypersexualized, and it's so false. As in the Quran, the word is batil, which means vain. It's so vain. There's nothing real in the US. And unfortunately, this is permeated all over the world thanks to Hollywood and the music industry and the culture industry that they've created, that everyone's like that now. No one actually cares about anyone else. It's all just fake nonsense. Now, in my previous videos, fighting the new addictions, I talked about the trouble that a lot of men, including me, had with pornography. And obviously, this is a new drug, and this drug is similar to alcohol or cocaine. It's a very powerful stimulant, and a lot of men are addicted to it. And it was designed to be addictive. That's why you have high definition, and now virtual reality is coming to the forefront. They want you to be addicted to this stuff. And when I say they, I again refer to the masters, because you have to understand that this is what it's all about. And if you don't believe it, that's fine. You can go through life as you are. I don't really care. But what I'm telling you is what I've observed and I've thought about. And this is what I'm saying. Go think about these things for yourself and observe these things dispassionately, the world around you, what's going on. Anyway, coming back to the video that I made about fighting the new addictions, I talked about pornography and my solutions in that, and these are tested. I've done them, and I've researched them, and there's other men who've done that, and they've found that these worked. And one of my solutions was to turn off the TV, to stop watching TV, movies, and stop listening to music. And I got a lot of flack for that, because a lot of people said, well, you can't, music isn't inherently bad, and that there's good things on TV. Yeah, sure, I'm sure they are, but you have to understand that these things are again designed to get you back into the mode of consumerism, to get you to stop thinking. This is the whole deal, guys. They want you to stop thinking. This is why the Quran keeps saying, do you not reason, tafakkur, uh, think, use your reason. This is why we're here. We're not here to just endlessly watch movies and music and entertain ourselves. This is not the point. This is what this is what is happening. Men are being diverted from the path of God, from remembering God, from implementing His commandments into this fictitious propaganda nonsense. And this is all propaganda, by the way. This is all propaganda designed to destroy your morals and get you to become an animal. Okay? And like the Quran says, deaf, dumb, blind, they do not reason. They are like the cattle. This is what it means. That your masters want you. They actually think you are cattle. That's another point. I'm not gonna go into that. But what they want is for you to actually become cattle, as in to be completely degraded, to have no morals, no sense of truth and justice, right and wrong, to go through life eating, fornicating, masturbating, and that's all they want. This is, and unfortunately, most people are like that now. They have no idea about their purpose, and this is what it's about finding your purpose, about serving God. This is why we're here, and that's why your life is empty. So this is why it's so important to cut off all these things from your life, because they are not helping you, they're hurting you. Like a drug, they give you some comfort and give you a high, but then it wears down, and then you're back in consuming and injecting yourself with this drug. So just try it out, see what happens. Cut off all TV, cut off all music, and cut off all movies. Cut off all digital internet stuff. Just stop. Yeah, I understand. In this day and age, you need to use the internet to pay your bills and um, check your email and all that. So make a time, sit down, do that, and move on. Stop carrying your cell phone around with you all the time, looking at it, getting constant updates. Put it in a drawer, forget about it. Do this for a week, and observe yourself and see how your thoughts change. I guarantee you, because this has happened with me. I've done it, so I'm telling you my own experience. That once you do this, you're gonna have this mental clarity come at you. You're gonna be much more calmer. You're gonna have time to think about things. um, you will start to understand what I'm talking about here. Right now you can't, because there's just so much going on. And if you read any of the news, you know what I'm talking about. They keep talking about this information overload, and there's too much blah blah blah. Okay, fine, but they're pushing this stuff on you anyway, because the news is a lie. And Brother Garens has touched on that too, and a lot of other people have talked about this as well, that the news is a lie. There's nothing true in the news. So stop watching it. Stop participating in falsehood. You don't need it. Get away from these things. Get into nature. Go for walks. If you have, if you can hike around you. I live in a place where I can hike, so I go out and I hike once in a while. You ride a bike. Do these things. Don't just sit in front of a computer or sit in front of the TV, assimilating this falsehood, this fake reality that they're giving you through Facebook, through social media. Shun all this. Remember, again, that the purpose in life is not to enjoy ourselves, but to actually gain taqwa, which is prudent fear, to remember God, to develop our reason, read books, you know, uh, reach out to your family. I'm not talking about friends, I'm talking about family. It's so important, family. Your mother and your father, your siblings, your daughter, your wife, your son. This is the core of a relationship structure that again is being destroyed. And especially a lot of people in the US, they're really kind and nice to their friends and all this, but they shun their family. They don't talk to their parents. And so again, this is by design. Look, what is coming down the road is far more worse than we are at this moment experiencing. So my suggestion to you is to take a step back and look at society, look at the culture, look at the stuff that's going on, um, and try to think why is this happening? Why is there a full frontal attack on everything? And that brings me to the next point: drugs. Marijuana is being legalized all over the U.S. And so you have to question why now? Why is all of a sudden marijuana is being legalized? I mean, obviously this drug has been around for a long, long time, and they've studied it carefully. The scientists know what the benefits are, so and what the harm is. So why all of a sudden this drug is being introduced into the culture? And what's happening is that people are starting to break their, as the quote goes, that it is no measure of hell to be adjusted to a profoundly sick society. Well, now the society is so sick and so toxic that people are actually breaking, their minds are breaking, and so they, obviously, to stop the complete collapse of society, because they are trying to collapse society, but obviously they want to collapse it in a way that is manageable. And so to stop it from just basically disintegrating, because it is disintegrating. You have the nuclear family structure, which has been torn apart. Man has been pitted against woman, child against uh, old, um, right against left, black against white, Islam against Muslim against Christian, rich against poor. Anything you can think of, any way society can be disintegrated, and by exploiting divisions, that's being done. And again, this trick is not new. This is what was being taught by the sorcerers, the shayateen, uh, at the time of Babylon, which was given to them by the two kings Harut and Marut, to cause division between man and woman. So these tricks are not anything new, but what's happening is the scale at which they're being executed, thanks to, again, mass media. This is the power. This is the power that the elites have, which they did not have back in the day. And because television is so pervasive now that everyone is watching television at homes, and they're being programmed with all this propaganda nonsense, that we are seeing a complete fracture of society. And this fracture, this complete splitting apart of society, is by design. But coming back to my point again, people are just are so under stress that they are turning to drugs. And so now the government is opening up these drugs so that people can get easy access to them, and they don't end up causing a rebellion, or doing something stupid. And that's what it's all about. So this whole thing with you know government caring about the benefits, that's all nonsense. There's no benefits to weed. There's no benefits to weed, because the weed is going to make you dumb. It's going to slow you down, and it causes many health complications. I know, because I've smoked it, and I know the effects that it has. Look, I I'm living in the US. I know, I've been through all these things. I've done everything that any teenager would have done. So I know what's going on, and you know what's going on too, deep down inside. So don't kid yourself. Weed is a powerful addictive drug, and same with prescription medication, Valium and benzos and all this. This is all these all things. These things are designed to uh, keep you like the cattle, completely docile and submissive, and to not question the reality that you've been given, which is false, and to keep on working like a dog for your masters, and punch in and punch out, and go home and do some drugs or watch TV, download entertainment, lose yourself in fantasies, and then go to sleep, and then go back to work the next day, instead of questioning what's going on. It's gotten so bad now that I was reading that there actually some of the guys who are looking into seasteading. When what if you don't know what seasteading is? It's basically they decide to go out and live on the sea, because obviously you can't go out and live in anywhere in the world. Everything's been everything is owned by these your masters, by the governments, by the states. There's no place where someone can just go out and live and away from this system of exploitation. So this one guy, he was doing seasteading somewhere off the coast of, I think it was Thailand or somewhere around there, and the authorities seized his boat. So even they won't even let you go out and live in peace in the middle of some in the ocean. And this is the level of depravity that your masters have for you. So don't think for a minute that they care for you and that they're legalizing drugs for the benefit of mankind or society. It's all a lie. It's designed to uh, it's designed to dumb you down, and it's designed as sort of a, a panacea for you right now as we're going through this shift in society. So understand that everything that you've been given, everything you're consuming, is in one way or another designed to facilitate uh, their plans, and it's not for your benefit. The only thing that can help you is God. And this is the Quran's position, that they cannot harm you, and they cannot do anything to you, and that you should take God as your ally and protector. And He is in truth your ally and protector, because He is God. And as you read more in the Quran and you gain more understanding of it, you will see that what it's talking about is talking exactly about standing up for justice, speaking the truth, shunning away all these falsehoods, and relying on God. And he who has um, and held on to the rope of God, he has held on to a support that will never break. And this is what is Brother Garen's is pushing forward, and I'm also saying the same thing. Read the Quran, analyze it, think for yourself, ask God for help. This is the only way, brothers. There's no other way. You can keep running around here and there thinking you know all the answers, or going to your these experts that they present to you thinking that they have the answers. They don't. This is all a lie. The only answers are in the Quran, and the Quran is giving you simple, clear guidance to shun all falsehood. And in that falsehood, religion is included, because religion is a falsehood. These priests and imams are those experts that are set up to guide you, and these are the misguided. So don't follow them. Don't follow me. Don't follow Sam. Don't follow anyone. Follow the Quran. Follow God. Learn Arabic. If you don't trust the translations, go learn Arabic. There's no excuse. Everything is available in this day and age. It's only up to you, your will. But you definitely have to stop watching TV and consuming music and movies and games and all this nonsense, because this is eating up your precious limited time that can be well spent in other things, and expanding your knowledge and gaining understanding about things that are important, and to find out your purpose. Because if you don't have a purpose, you have nothing. And you will go through life consuming this and consuming that, jumping from one thing to the other. You will never be satisfied. So find your purpose and ask God for help, ask for His strength. He is with you. They ask about God, say that I'm with you. I hear the call of the caller when he calls to me. So let them respond to me. See, again, this it is so vital that we understand that in this day and age, when every support structure is being taken down systematically and broken down, God is still with us, in us. He is there. He's guiding us. He is our ally and protector. And what an ally and protector, God. He the one who created the heavens and the earth. With an ally like that, you have no one to fear. With a protector like that, who else do you need? So ask him for help, and he will give you his provision, he will give you his bounty, he will give you his mercy. He's the bountiful God. Don't take these gods, don't take these scientists, these doctors, these magicians, these imams, muftis. Don't take them as gods. Don't take your state as a god. Don't obey them. Obey God. And this is what it's all about. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say about this subject. I hope everyone is doing well. Um, and I pray that God guides you to a straight path. Inshallah, until the next time, peace be with you.